In this video, I'm going to show you how to analyze the properties that you submit on the property page. So in order to do that, what we're going to do is go down to where it says properties, and we're going to go ahead and click on properties. Once we click on properties, we're just going to select the property, and I'm going to go over to the right hand side of the page where it says publish, and we're going to go down to where it says analyze. Once I click on analyze, as you can see, there's a lot of information that actually pops up about the property. Now, this is all public record information. It's pulled from the tax assessor's website as well as online websites like Zillow. Okay, so under property information, this is where you'll find the basic information about the property. You got the property address, the asking price, the GPS information. You have the square footage of the property, the lot size, the bedrooms, the total rooms, the bathrooms as well. If there's a seller or an agent on Zillow, that name will pop up here. And you also have the date it was modified. Okay. You also see a trending graph of this property as well. Up at the top, you see the estimated value. Now, this number is pulled from 10 different properties that recently sold. And then you also have a low value and a high value as well. You can also see the value change over the course of the last 30 days, as well as the percentage change as well. Primarily, I use the estimated value as a starting point to know how much a property is actually worth or what it can potentially be worth. All right. Now, if you want more detailed comps, all you got to do is go over to where it says comparables and click on that tab. And as you can see, if you scroll down, you have the closest 10 comparable sales to the property itself. If you click on mortgage, this is where you can add mortgage information on each individual property. So as you're talking with the motivated seller, you can add the balance information, the monthly payment, the interest, the years remaining on the loan. If it's adjustable or if it's fixed, you can add that there. If you have a first mortgage, a second mortgage, or a third mortgage, and just all of the information that you need in order to make a justified offer on a property, you would add on this page. And finally, you have the Rei Calculator and Notes. If you go on the notes, we'll talk about the Rei Calculator in just a moment, but if you go on the notes as you're talking to the seller, what you can do is simply add notes into this page here. I'm just going to go ahead and delete that. But if you wanted to add anything about the conversation with the seller, you would add that here and click on save. But going back to the Rei Calculator, this is something that I've personally designed myself, and I had my developer add it into the software. As you can see, everything is zeroed out. Okay, so the way this actually works is it automatically calculates the after repaired value multiplied by 70%, which is what a typical rehabber would pay for a property, multiplied by 65%. In some markets, investors will pay that. And as a wholesale price, it would automatically multiply the after repaired value by 60%. Now, here's where the suggested offer amount comes into play, because what you're going to do is take the after repaired value, which is either 60, 65, or 70% of the after repaired value, and you're going to subtract the repairs. So we have a conservative amount where you can subtract from, and an aggressive amount as well. So if whatever I add in at the top, and I'm going to show it to you in just a moment, it's going to automatically adjust these numbers, and it's going to tell you how much you should offer on a property based off of the repair estimate of what the property actually needs. Okay. Now, in addition to that, you're not going to offer the exact amount that the suggested amount provides for you, because that's going to be the highest amount that you can actually pay for the property. So below the suggested amount, we have a percentage decrease. So let's just say you have a conservative offer and you want to drop it by 10% in order to start your bids there, or you want to drop it by 15%, or maybe you want to drop it by 20%. This is going to calculate those numbers for you. And in addition to that, let's say you have an aggressive offer with an aggressive rehab amount. If you want to drop it by 10% as a starting point, knowing that you have a suggested offer up at the top, you can actually pay these numbers right here. But these are going to be suggested offers that you can actually start from, okay? So get familiar with this calculator here. Let me just provide you with an example. So for this particular property that we're looking at right here in Phoenix, Arizona, the asking price was automatically pulled in and the comparable sales were automatically pulled in. As you can see, the estimated value is $276.25. So that number is pulled into the software. Now let's just say I estimate that this property conservatively needs $20,000 in work and aggressively needs $30,000 in work. Okay, what I'm going to do is scroll down a little bit and notice how the zeros turn into actual offers that you can base your offer off of. Okay, so as you can see, the after repaired value is $276.25. 70% of that is $193. 65% of that is $179. 60% of that is $165. Now, these are the amounts that you can actually pay before you factor in the repair amounts. So as you can see, we have a suggested offer. So if I had $20,000 in repairs, as you can see right here, or $30,000 in repairs, as you can see right here, if I'm basing my numbers off of 70 cents on a dollar, as you can see, 70 cents on a dollar leaves me at $193. Subtract $20,000 from that, and you have $173. Subtract $30,000 from that, you have $163. Right? So that would be the top amount that I can actually pay if I'm rehabbing the property. Now, if I'm looking at wholesale prices, I'm probably going to fall in between the 60 cents on a dollar or the 65 cents on a dollar. Generally, I buy houses at 60 cents on a dollar. So if I'm utilizing these numbers here, if I'm using the numbers that the software is putting out, I know that I can pay top price at 60 cents on a dollar is $165. Subtract $20,000 from that, and it leaves me at $145, $615. Subtract $30,000 from that aggressively, and I can pay $135. You can see there's a $10,000 difference between the $135 and obviously the $145. Now, scrolling down to the bottom, again, as I've mentioned, what this does is it takes a percentage of what I can actually pay for the property, and it deducts it and provides me with a starting point of where I should actually start my offer and work my way up to what I can actually pay for the property. All right. So for example, if I'm working off of 275, which is a comparable sale, and obviously if you have better comps, then you can enter that number in there manually as well. Okay. But if I'm working off of the 275 here, and I'm using conservative numbers, knowing that the property probably needs about $20,000 in work, if I wanted to subtract 10% from that number, and I'm buying a house at 60 cents on a dollar, then my initial offer is going to be right around $131,053. If I wanted to take 15%, it would be $123. If I wanted to take 20%, it would be $116. Aggressively, those numbers will be listed below as well. So that's an auto calculator. I call it the REI calculator. It's going to make making offers on properties a lot easier for you. So use the analyze section under each property. You'll be able to make educated offers. You'll have all of the comparable sales, all of the property information that you need in order to make a justified offer on the properties that come into the system.